Well, I think the .eth is something a little bit special because on the community call, I asked Nick what his thoughts are on the DAO, and he's done a lot of thinking into like whale protection and the benevolent whale, where like Uniswap's had difficulty with A16Z and big whales going in there and then voting themselves allocations of the token for education purposes that they have discretion over, and it seems like it can be manipulated in certain ways, but in terms of the .eth, why I like it is Nick worked at the Ethereum Foundation. He has it linked into Etherscan. A lot of the partnerships are there with Coinbase and everything. So all the unicorns are using it, and it's just the adoption is really the only secret sauce of a lot of these types of protocols. Like, I mean, you have .btc, .sol, and it's just the ability of all these dApps to agree to use their protocol and everything. So, I mean, it looks pretty good. And Nick, I think, is doing a good job with governance, and he knows Vitalik and knows all the people. So it probably has the best chance I see of all the name services to keep going.
I'm gonna play a little bit devil's advocate to that comment. I mean, this seems kind of like, I got into the unstoppable domains as well, and it seems kind of like a solution that's looking for a problem. I mean, I understand the usefulness of it is how you can connect it to your various Googles, Facebooks, and so forth. But again, it's one of those things that just seems like, well, I want to get my name in there. I want to get my .eth address and then potentially sell it or keep it in case anything gets big. But you have projects like ICP that are doing some interesting stuff with how they view the entire internet. I guess the way I see it, it just seems like a band-aid over stuff. And I could totally be wrong. I mean, I don't see a big problem with how the web works today. Um, I wouldn't invest too much into it personally. But again, I've had some bad investment choices. So it's yeah, I'm a little 50-50 on that specific project personally.
I'd like to hear more from you on that. So you don't think adoption would ever be really big with the domains? You just think it'll never actually be used in day to day, and therefore it may lose its value over time. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, even if adoption takes place, I think the way how we communicate and how communication goes. I mean, back then, if you look at websites in general, it's important to have the .coms, right? The Amazon.coms. But the way things are changing and evolving with how we communicate as humans in general, and with metaverses coming into play, I think it's just going to be a saturated sort of. Well, there's some adoption there. There's adoption there, and that's some usefulness there. But I think, I guess, how we're going to communicate is going to be so much more dynamic that those things won't matter as much. The .eth addresses won't matter as much. All right. Again, like I said, I could be wrong. Could just not be seen, but I don't see it right now. I'm not going to put my money into it. I'd rather put it into a crypto that nobody else knows, that's got potential high adoption based on what they're doing fundamentally, than a .ens address because I want to connect my google.facebook.com to one ETH address, right?
Yeah, I can agree with you that it's more of a luxury. I like how you said it. It's they're trying to find it's a solution for a problem that doesn't exist.
Mhm.
It's just like personalizing your wallet address at the end of the day, where it's easier. It's a convenience, not necessarily. It doesn't revolutionize anything. It's not how hard is it to copy and paste your wallet address or ask someone to send it to this address. Yeah, it's more complicated because there's more digits, but it's a luxury. It's like getting something personalized that doesn't need to be personalized.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, I bought Unstoppable Domains, and Unstoppable Domains, one of the main selling point is it's your website can never be taken down, right? But just learning about it and say, okay, I'm going to learn about this stuff as a regular person. I'm going to buy a couple of domain names, learn about this stuff, and see how it evolves. At some point in the process, what am I doing this for? It's really just becomes a luxury item. A tickle to my ego that I have this address, right? And maybe I can sell it at some point because there's some value in the name of the address. But at some point, I'm thinking at this time and place, I think, like I said, communication is going to be different. It would have been important back 20 years ago if it was a .com or where people needed to get on computer and needed to get into that address and see what's in that space. But it's definitely evolving, and I don't think it's something that, I mean, it'll probably go up in price. I'm pretty sure it'll go up in price at some point because human nature just wants you to buy stuff that people don't have. I mean, that's just human nature, whether it's ego or subconscious need to succeed over what your efforts are. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, it's not of value to me whether I can attach an address there, because I know I've got the tools necessary to trade ETH or convert ETH to different coins, or use ETH in general if I need to. And then again, I'm not a big ETH fan either. So that's my 2 cents. I
No,
hope I
I'm
explained it.
I'm
I
glad
don't
you
want to ramble.
No, I'm glad you put in your 2 cents. And here's why I think it's good to hear what Gary is saying. Is all of us up here on the stage, and many of you that are in Twitter Spaces are, a lot of you are part of NFT projects. There's some value in the name of your project .eth, or there's some value in your name .eth. There probably is some value in that. But I think the majority of people that are just investors, or they're just part of the crypto stock, whatever, Traderverse community, they may not see the advantage to having, their name .eth at the bottom of it, because they're not like a brand. Christine's trying to become a brand. It looks like she might have got rugged, but she'll be back on. Or maybe she went to go and to register a domain. But anyway, yeah, there's a reason why we up here might be so bullish on it. And then Gary comes in here and tells us, hey, maybe it's not as big as we would like it to be, because maybe Gary's more speaking of what the majority of people may be thinking, as to where we up here are more thinking about the future of our own brands, just because Twitter Space is kind of self-selective for that.
Yeah, it's a niche product for sure. For the people that it is good for, and they are monetizing their name, their brand, their project, whatever, like I see tons of utility in owning that as convenience. Looks good on like a flyer, it looks good on a profile name like mine. Like I have an ENS, by the way.
Well,
Yeah, I know, I just kind of kept quiet. I haven't even looked to see what I have to claim or anything like that, but
you need to check, man.
I know I've been busy this morning. Okay, I have Unstoppables as well, and like the Unstoppable, I don't really know if I'll salvage, because it has a name that we were going to use it for Traderverse, but we decided not to at the end of the day. So, but no, I just think it's a very niche, unique, utility. For the people that it benefits, great. I saw someone in the audience. I think he might be gone now, but he was the NFT collection .eth, and like he had it right in his bio and stuff like that. I would have loved to have him up here to talk about how it helps his business. But it's cool for sure.
Yeah,
And
if
like
you're
the news is really what I think is what's sending the demand about it, because it's kind of everywhere right now.
Be sure to listen in to all of our weekly shows and follow us on Twitter for updates.